Hi everyone. Today I'm going to present the application that we designed to help people with visual impairments to recognize their friends in social activities. I'll also discuss the lessons we learn when we are designing and evaluating AI technologies to address an important accessibility problem. So imagine if a person with visual impairments walks into this big conference room. It will be very difficult for her to recognize who are around, where everyone sits, who she should go to talk to, and even who the presenter is. So this is actually a major challenge for her physics that can raise both emotional and also social problems. So here is an experience that Gal, who is a 64 years old person with visual impairments, described. So she said, "My blind husband and I were going to have dinner and decided to meet inside the front door of a mall. I went in one side and he went through the other. Finally, some woman came up and said, 'Are you meeting a blind gentleman? He is standing about 10 feet away.'" So this example actually emphasized the challenge of recognizing people, the visually impaired people face, even though there are so many technologies around us. So the goal of our research is to address this problem by designing a research prototype to help people with visual impairments recognize their friends in social activities. And also, as the faster development of AI technology, we want to leverage the state-of-the-art computer vision to have accurate recognition. And also, we want to leverage the user's existing social network on Facebook, so the users don't have to manually collect the data set to train the algorithm. And also, we all know how important it is to protect the people's privacy. So in our design, we wanted to take into account the non-users' privacy and also try to prevent their concerns of being unknowingly surveilled or recognized. So with these research goals, we designed accessibility bot, which is a Facebook Messenger bot, appears as a contact on the Facebook Messenger platform. So there are many benefits that we use this Facebook Messenger platform. So the major one is it actually provides easy and also reliable access to both the camera and also Facebook API that supports the face recognition services we can use to recognize the user's Facebook friends. And also this platform is widely used and also available on smartphones. So it is much more easier for people to discover and also have access to. So our current prototype was built in Android smartphone, and also it works with TalkBack, which is a screen reader on Android smartphone. So when users turn on the camera of this accessibility bot and scan around the environment, our system can automatically do a face detection and also reports the number of faces in front of the camera. So for example, in this image, it reports 2 faces. So based on this feedback, the users can know whether there are faces in the front and then decide whether they want to trigger a face recognition. So one thing we were concerned during our design is that the people around the users may have the feeling that they were recorded or recognized without their knowledge. So we designed an explicit gesture, which is a double tap, to trigger the face recognition. This serves as sort of a signal from the users to the non-users, informing that some information is going to be captured. And after the double tap, the face recognition will be triggered, and we recognize both the Facebook friends of the users and also their facial features, including their appearance and also facial expression. We display all this information on the phone screen, and also the system automatically speaks out the Facebook friend's name from left to right based on their position in the photo. So for example, as this image shows, it reports 2 people from left to right, may include Eric Lee, Charles Taylor. And also if the user is specifically interested in one friend, he can swipe and navigate this list and listen to more details. For example, the first friend, Eric Lee, no eyeglasses, eyes open, happy mood, smiling, no facial hair. So this is the design of our accessibility bot. The face recognition algorithm we used is the same algorithm with photo text suggestion features on Facebook. And the suggestions will only be made if people have the face recognition setting on. And our bot also follow this standard to protect the user's friend's privacy, so they can choose whether or not they want to be recognized by adjusting this face recognition setting. And one thing I want to note is the algorithm actually has a very high accuracy, which is 97%, which is tested by researchers based on a public data set from Flickr photos. So based on the design of our bot, we want to understand how useful it is in a real-world setting, like what situations people want to use it, whether it's effective or not, and whether it is social acceptable. So we conducted a diary study with 6 participants with visual impairments. They were all legally blind. 2 of them are totally blind. 2 of them have ultra low vision, and 2 of them have moderate low vision, which means they still have some functional vision to use. And we first conducted an interview and also a tutorial session to teach them how to use our app. And then we had a 7-day-long diary study with diary entries. So we requested the participants to use the bot in at least 4 days among the whole week. And also every day they needed to fill in the daily entry with 8 questions. For example, we asked them whether they used the bot today, in what situations they used it, whether it's helpful or not, and whether they feel it's accurate. And at the end, we conducted an 1-hour interview and also observed how they used our application to get a general feedback about the application. So now I'm going to present some of the key findings we got from our user study. So first, we found participants actually used the bot in many different situations, and each participant used at least the bot in at least 3 different scenarios. You can see in the chart, like most participants use it at home with their families, and also in a small gathering, like the restaurant with their friends. And interestingly, we find there are some unexpected use cases. For example, 3 participants use our app to take a selfie to check their appearance, like how they look like today. And also 1 participant also used the app to take a photo of a physical photo to know who is in that photo. So from our study, we also find our app is actually helpful for most of the participants. 4 out of 6 people think it is very helpful. And participants reported that recognizing their Facebook friends is actually very useful, and this definitely adds credits to their perceived helpfulness. Accuracy is another important factor that affected the user's experience. So in our study, we didn't measure the actual accuracy because we could not collect the photos taken by the users, considering we could not get the consent from all the people who appeared in the photo. Instead, we collected the perceived accuracy by asking the participant how they feel, how accurate they feel the application is. This is actually more important for us because it is an expression of the user's experience in the real-world app situations. So we expected the perceived accuracy should be really high given that our algorithm was tested in lab and we got a 97% accuracy. But surprisingly, the perceived accuracy varied from 0.2 to 0.9, which is way lower than we expected. So we asked the participant the reason, and we find the photo qualities is one of the major problem because the photos can have low luminance, and also the faces can be cut off, and also the photos can be blurry sometimes. Participants also mentioned they noticed that people's photos on Facebook, sometimes they don't look the same as the people in their real life, which also brought a little difficulty to our recognition. So we designed an explicit gesture to trigger the face recognition to prevent the concerns of the bystanders. But this actually brought negative effect on the user's experience. So all the participants actually wanted a real-time face recognition. So major reason is they had difficulty aiming the camera, especially in the real-life situation, like a dynamic social environment. People are talking, they're moving. It is very hard to take a clear photo, even for sighted people. And also the double tap gesture can also cause the photo to be blurry and also cause a delay. So in terms of social acceptability, except one participant who felt using the camera can disturb the other people. All the other participants felt our application is very important and is social acceptable. And they all believe that they had the equal right to see their friends, just like sighted people do. And beyond social acceptability, people also think safety is an important factor in their life. Like our application can help them know who are around and also maybe help them to know where their children are, which can help guarantee their safety. So here is a quote from one of our participants. He said, "Facial recognition is out there all the time. If computers can do it, why cannot I take advantage of it? You're sighted. You can see and tell who I am. Then why cannot I? I'm not taking any information, but just want to see who you are." So this actually emphasized how important these technologies are for people with visual impairments in social activities. So now I want to do a little discussion based on our findings. So we find that the potential privacy concerns actually pose the constraints on our design. We designed the explicit gesture to try to help protect the privacy of the non-users, but which actually brought negative experience to our users. So this actually makes our think, even though we understand privacy is a very important problem, but we should not neglect access and also equity. So maybe it is time for us to think about privacy differently by considering people with disabilities and also their needs as an important perspective when discussing the problems raised by AI technology. And also, surprisingly, we find our algorithm doesn't work that well, right? We have a low perceived accuracy. And one main reason is the photos people with visual impairments took is actually not the same with the typical photos taken by sighted people. But our algorithm actually followed the very standard testing and training procedure. We use the very standard data sets. So actually, the current training procedure do not take into account the people's different disabilities. So in the future, maybe we should involve people's needs into the training procedure. For example, we should collect photos taken by people with visual impairments to make the algorithm more effective. To summarize, we designed accessibility bot, which can help people with visual impairments recognize their friends to facilitate social activities. And also, we used a diary study to understand their use and behaviors in daily lives. And also, we did a reflection on the use of AI technology in the accessibility context. So we hope our research is not only about face recognition. We also want to raise people's thought and discussion on the relationship between AI technology and accessibility. So we should think about when we are applying AI technology into accessibility, how can we make it more effective? And also when we are trying to address different problems raised by AI, for example, the privacy problem, how accessibility could fit in by considering people's different needs. Thank you so much. And at the end, I want to thank my collaborators, Shaomei, Lindsay, Reynolds from Facebook, and also my advisor, Shiri, Azenkot. Thank you so much.
Hello, Mohammed Kamshe, University of Toronto. Thanks for the great talk. I have two questions. The first one is, what was the scenarios that your participants used the system? And the second one is that...
sorry, can you repeat one, my participant?
Yeah, the scenarios that participants use your system.
How long?
Yeah, what scenarios? What was the example? What was...
Oh,
yeah.
So I did talk about the scenarios of where, in what situations they use it, because this is a dairy study. So we don't limit the situation they use it. So we give them the application, and we ask them to use it in whatever situation they want to understand in what situation is suitable for this application.
Okay. And you mentioned that users can use their phone to take pictures for face recognition. What do you think about using wearable cameras? For example, a camera on the chest. And in the case of using a camera on the chest, do you think we still need to guide user to adjust his body posture to take photos?
Yeah, that's a very good suggestion, and we did consider, different wearable cameras at the very beginning, like also, for example, the smart glasses, so people don't have to, aim the camera by themselves. However, we also, because we also want our applications to be available to a more, broad population. So we first want to start with the phone application and also the Facebook Messenger, which is a very widely used platform. So this is just a beginning. And after we understand it's used in real world, we definitely want to try out different platforms in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lauren Burke, and I really enjoyed your presentation. I know that you're focusing on accessibility, but what about mothers and other people in the family who love technology? You look back 20 or 30 years ago, and you see that people, their biggest problem was privacy, and I guess that still applies today. But I wanted to ask you from a different perspective, from a hardware perspective, not using internet whatsoever, but what are the requirements for offline processes? And is there enough memory? Is there enough actual power to do this if you were to go offline? Or is this something that you've only tested using online resources?
So for now, we only use the online resources. And one main reason we use this Facebook API because it's very convenient for us to recognize their Facebook friends, so they don't have to collect the training data by themselves, right? So, but it's a very good question, because if we can do all the recognition locally, which is actually can help protect the privacy. I totally agree with that. And that is definitely, from both software and hardware perspective, we should look into in the future. But for now, I have to say I don't have like a solution on like how to address that. Like especially like a smartphone has very relatively low power and also limited space, right? So yeah, that depends on the advance of the future technology, I guess.
Maybe in the future, hardware will catch up to what we're doing on our end, so that would be nice to see as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Hi, Annie Ross again. Really great presentation. I had some questions about sort of the secondary information you gave. So it was name and then sort of things about it, like their facial expression, their mood. I was wondering first what considerations you made as far as what to include, because I could think of especially mood, the inaccuracy in that might cause some problems, as well as if you heard from participants what of that information they used.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So because of the limited of this session, I actually cannot present all of my work. So actually before the design of our accessibility bot, we conducted a formative study with 8 participants with visual impairments. And we asked them their experiences, challenges, and also what information they need in the social scenarios. And we also got, different items, for example, people's identity, their relative location, their physical attributes like how they look like, and also their facial expression. So all of these we actually listed it based on the priority our participants gave us. So we conducted our design based on that. So if you're interested in more details, you can look at our paper.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.